All right, so for the pick ban gauntlet this week, we're playing three decks that we've all played in the past. Two of these three decks are up on my website. They've all had highlights on my YouTube highlights channel. I'm not going to do full deck text of them, but I'm going to pull them up here really quick. In the aggro slot, we've got the Lucium Hecarim deck with the more aggressive Blighted Caretaker Cursed Keeper package that I favored and is up on my website. Is a controlling deck. We are going to play some Zoe Lux, which I recently updated on my site to include a bunch of copies of Hush, because Lee Sin is a deck that's out in force, although I suppose in the pick ban gauntlet I won't really need Hush for that respect, because we'll just ban Lee Sin in any of the matches that we get paired into it. And then for the third deck, I decided I wanted to be fun and try some more of the Enduring Snapvines deck that felt very reasonable last time we played it. Two small changes I made to this is I'm trying out a couple of copies of Babbling Berg to search up Overgrown Snapvines a little bit more consistently, and a couple of copies of Flash Freeze to have a little bit more counterplay against things like Atrocity and help us race when we're a turn or two off from winning the game. So the Pick ban Gauntlet, for those that are not familiar with it, you submit three decks that do not have any overlapping champions or exact same region combinations. And then each round, this is a best of one pick ban gauntlet. You see your opponent's lineup of three decks with their champions and regions, and they see yours. You each ban one of your opponent's selections, and then you have to win a game with whichever deck you pick to play. I think I want to play against Plaza the least out of their lineup, and I don't mind playing Zoe Lux into either of these other two, I don't think. Yeah, I'm betting Lucy and Hecarim's gonna take a lot of bans. It's the most established of the few. Yeah, I'll have chat minimized during the matches, so catch y'all in a bit. Mulligan the Lux. I think we keep the rest of these. We're attacking on evens, which makes Plaza a little bit better in this matchup. I can wait till 2 to play Zoe, because I can play Zoe and then Sharpsight to protect her from a Gohard if they play one. Drawing second Plaza is pretty bad. And just play this out right away now. The dead don't need riches. Audio up on the game a little bit. Sounds good. So definitely playing Plaza here. Succession's actually a pretty decent pickup, because it means that we'll be able to go 3-drop into Succession next turn and get some challenges in. You know, honestly, in terms of keeping my life total high, I think I want to trade off here. That's got to be wrong. Nah, she's just gonna die at some point anyway. So I think getting to draw one card and then save us some life here sounds real good. I'm gonna take the Falling Comet. Having an answer rolled up to Ledros sounds real good. The texture of my hand can answer most other things at this point. Oh, I forgot to change my scene. Apologies. It's early, chat. we are crumbling my plaza. Yeah, that's fine, right? We got a second one. Good trade for us. Just means we don't play Succession this turn. We just like take this and ship it into here.
Devotion through battle.
Beep 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 beep.
I know
Beep
what
beep
lurks in
beep
the
beep.
shadows.
Beep 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 beep. All right. Do I want to take a hit from this turn? I don't think I do. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and Remembrance here. I could be right to wait until we can try and roll Lifesteal off the Radiant Guardian, but having a blocker for this sounds real appealing.
A game. Go on then.
So this has Scout, so pretty easy open attacks this turn. It's actually a great draw if they have Vengeance.
Wait a minute. Scratched.
They notably have Ruination mana up here, so if they just pass back, that's something we're going to want to be conscious of.
Deal me in.
Sure, that's not a big deal. We'll go Plaza into Succession here. You got it.
Have faith.
A game. Go on then.
So
Watch the ball.
the two things you want to manage in this matchup from the Lux Zoe side is you want to make sure their Twisted Fates aren't leveling, and you want to make sure that you're not going to get killed by Ledros and Pack out of nowhere. So Star Shaping and Radiant Guardian really help you manage your life total nicely. And then your Plazas help you keep Twisted Fates in check. Huh. Moonglow actually sounds pretty okay. If they kill this here, we could Radiant plus Moonglow it.
I don't change fate, but I can feel it.
I'm gonna pass at this point. We're burning the same amounts of mana.
Virtue guides me.
Captain Mr. Kos, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
You pay. I talk to spirits. These are my
Okay,
rules.
and then this should definitely work then, right? We've got they only got 4 mana. It's a nice draw. Written in the Star sounds kind of lovely, huh? I wouldn't mind either of our two champions here. Am I okay with them ruinating here if I play this? I think I am.
The Martian soldier is worth 10 foes.
We keep this, and then we gain 4.
Strike for justice.
Am I okay with this trade? I think I am. You usually want to offer to trade things pretty aggressively that are gonna die to pack your bags anyways. I think this trade is fine. I got a Glimpse here. Glimpse is good because it denies my 4 life game.
Win.
You got it. Sure.
always in for a round or two.
It's really unfortunate that I really dislike this interaction, that this is a card, an effect that's like not doing anything to my Radiant Guardian, but it's still breaking her spell shield. Feels really bad.
Who says I don't share?
Hang on to her for now, because it feels like they could be packing my bags this turn.
I pull the strings.
I'm going to open on Vanguard Sergeant here, because again, I want to try and prioritize killing Twisted Fate. So this gives them a chance to pack my bags before I attack, but it is what it is. And this is why, like, this card's so good, right? Like, it just kind of holds us hostage. So this is going to take 4 down to 3, which means none of their things in play currently can kill it. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and Sharp Sight this, so that way it survives pack. And then this can trade a Twisted Fate, and this can gain us some life by hitting them. So we're down to 5. I'm gonna go ahead and play Zoe here, I think. Get some card advantage going from her.
There's plenty of killing there.
Banish the unworthy.
I don't think I need to kill the Elise. They haven't ruinated yet. Am I supposed to do this? Is this crazy? They could technically still Ledrus me, but I shouldn't die if their last card is Ledrus, and I'm pretty sure it's not Ruination. If their last card's Ruination, we're still okay here because we have plenty of gas left over. But like gain 7 here is a big deal, and it permanently puts life back on this, which is great. I think I'd rather dome them and get a card out of this than kill Elise here. So I'm not going to use the Challenger on this. If this is Glimpse, is last card Glimpse again? Man, that's brutal. We are at least killing the Twisted Fate. I don't think that's game over by any means, but it definitely feels worse than getting to stabilize our life total guaranteed here. We have the Star Shaping in the bank, so probably fine. Vengeance, sure. I feel like them killing Zoe there is a little bit misassessing their role here, unless they also have a way to kill this. Like this definitely feels like the card they should be killing.
You won't suffer long.
Okay, so they had double vengeance. Is that lethal? I block here. I'm taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I can go to 10. Oh, also I can block with this.
Hold back the darkness.
I can also block with this. Okay. This is technically optimal, right? Kill the 3/3 as opposed to the 3/2.
Burns on.
Hoping to roll another Radiant Guardian here. It's not great. Okay, just take the pass here. This is all 3 Doom Beasts at least, so they're mostly out of reach at this point. Let's open on this.
Protects me.
Draw 2's a pretty good top deck. One Danger Noodle, please. I would like to murder your board. Man, I guess they've seen most of their deck at this point, huh? That's all 3 glimpses now. So I have to try to not die next turn, basically. And hopefully we can kill them the following turn. Which is the first to go hard. Really want to draw another Star Shaping. It's probably the best pickup in our deck at this point. Because it likely generates us another lethal threat as well. Either an Overwhelm or an Elusive unit.
Never lost a fair game. Never played one. Something for all.
Okay. Okay. I think the conservative play is... to hold up Star Shaping here, technically. In case they have a random way to poke me for 1.
We protect these woods as they protect us.
Like a fish in water.
Yep. We have an Elusive of our own here. Number 2. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this now. So that way if we hit something that's lethal, we get to kill them next turn. Honestly, all of these kind of suck.
I don't change fate, but I can feel it.
I mean, their deck is mostly pack the bags at this point, right? This has Scout, so it's a free open attack.
Keep up, keep up.
Unyielding light.
And this, unfortunately, was not lethal, so... We gotta kill Twisted Fate here. That's still pretty important.
You can't do this.
This is outrage!
So, third Star Shaping is the best draw on our deck. Only one of those in 19 cards, obviously, though, so it's a little bit unlikely to be found. Third Star Shaping saves us from Ledros into pack.
I fight for the fallen.
If I would have played this last turn, we would have gotten out of it. Oh, we're just gonna die to pack plus keg. Yeah. This is actually probably the most unfortunate part about this game, was that this is our first Lux, right? We're 22 cards into our deck and it's our first Lux. Yeah, really. Fuck you, dude. Wanakis, thanks for the 25 months. Edel Kato and Ghost Rider, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Pokemon Nerd, thank you for the very generous tier 3 for the 34 months. It's a wonderful start to the set. Yeah, pack your bags. Pack your bags needs to change real bad. It's definitely been too long without a balance update. I understand it's over the holidays, but that's definitely the case. Yeah, the real winning play in that entire set was the fact that, like, both times I attacked with Radiant Guardian to buffer my life total, my opponent had glimpses. Like that was the biggest deal about that entire game, was the fact that my opponent had glimpse on time twice in a row to deny me. What, we denied 11 life, right? I had a 4 power Radiant Guardian that got fogged and a 7 power Radiant Guardian that got fogged. Had either of those Radiant Guardians connected, I wouldn't have had to Star Shaping when I did, and I would have just had plenty of life.
See the Demastian border.
Are actually pretty fortunate that they didn't have Ledros at the end. Although I think, if I recall, the build of what's it called on Mobilytics doesn't have Ledros in it, so like, I guess that's not. Maybe they just weren't playing it. Yeah, the build on. Yeah, I think actually it's specific here. The fact that there's a Chronicler of Rune and not a Ledros on the, and maybe I shouldn't complain about that, because the decks I like to play are definitely much better against the what's it called?
It's just a nick.
Yeah, Drunkal, if you're not happy with that deck, I can definitely swap it out. But maybe go with Endure over Plaza, because Endure kills people. Also, Snapvines and Maokai are both cards that take up a lot of bench space.
The Isles will bloom again.
So adding a what's it called that also fights you for bench space seems not ideal.
Reporting for duty. For the glory of Noxus.
It does not give everyone overwhelm. It doesn't give itself overwhelm, Mazip. If it gave itself overwhelm, you're correct that it was lethal. It gives all other units 2/2 and overwhelm. It just has challenger.
I've learned patience.
So if they attack with everything, we'll go trade bump. Yeah, it's like, if you're a Magic player, it's like almost Crater Hoof Behemoth, but not close, but not exactly. Oh, they're waiting on me. I'm still not all here after that last game.
Got something for him? Just leave me alone!
They'll never know what killed him.
It's actually pretty okay with overgrown stat points down the line here.
We weren't expecting boulders!
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh yes, she does love visitors!
There's a good chance if they don't... So you know what? I'm just gonna attack with this. And then I'm going to probably Ruinate next turn after they add to the board. Because I have a follow-up Maokai, and then I have like follow-up Maokai and overgrown stat vines.
Make the Empire proud. It's gonna be a great day.
If you haven't checked out Runeterra before, NK Kid, I'd heavily encourage you to give it a try. I think it's easily the best card game on the market at the moment. And the way Riot approaches balancing Runeterra as a card game is everything I've always wanted out of the company managing my card games. It's thoroughly refreshing playing a game made by a company that manages it reasonably and has a good quality software product after decades of playing Magic and experiencing Magic Online and then Magic Arena. So next turn, we'll have Overgrown Snapvine into Pesky Spectre. I mean, these trades, that's like whatever, right? Not constantly being power crept is also refreshing. You're not wrong. So Snapvine says whenever you summon another follower, you kill it and then summon another Snapvine. So my opponent has a window to kill this here. So if they have a way to deal 3 or kill this before we can deploy another unit, they can stop it. But once we get the second one down, it becomes much harder to take these off the table. It's one of our top end payoffs. If they attack with Cat here, I'm happy to jump block with an Abomination, and then we crack them for 10. The Snapvine related cards are, associated cards, sorry, are very reasonable.
Only fools hesitate.
And this feels like one of the spots where Cap's kind of mediocre, right? Like, they're maybe gonna punk us out with Overwhelm. If they have more Overwhelm here, we could die, I suppose. Open on this, see if we can find some life gain. So, this is actually a great pull. That gains us 2 life, gains us 4 life technically with the overgrown snapvines here. Gets us some more 5/3s. So up to 9, going back down to 5, possibly 4 with this. So it could theoretically be dead to Decimate, I suppose, but we'll have open attacks, that should make that not a thing. So this is not what it says it is. I think we're just supposed to open, right? Just hope they can't kill me or one of my units. Okay, sweet. Alright, a little bit of a palate cleanse from the bad beats on the in the first game. And remember, the way the gauntlets work are pretty forgiving up until the last one. You're not out until you lose 2 in a row. So even though we lost the first one, we won this one. So we kind of get a reset. Man, we're banning this one. That was the one I kind of wanted to play. I'm gonna play a Snapvines deck again. Yeah, three very good decks here for the opponent. I think I'd rather play against Go Hard than this, but it's close. I think I'm mulliganing, looking for my cheaper threats to start. And this start, along with these to gain life, is actually pretty reasonable here. Just attack them for 7 here on 2 is the plan. And like, if their turn 3 is just like playing Plaza with, if they don't have Plaza double trouble, we get to play this and like crack them for 10 next turn, which sounds great. Wow, we just lost both our Snapvines and an Endure. I mean, we weren't going to draw them anyway because they were on the very bottom of our deck, but still feels bad, man. Opponent didn't quite do the math on that one.
The ocean charts our course.
Yeah, tosses from the bottom of your deck. It's X non-champion cards from the bottom of your deck.
Nothing gets between me and my mark.
We'll find our enemies wherever they hide.
This might be a game where we push towards leveling Maokai. I mean, they're definitely attacking, right?
Still heart, steady aim.
It could have been right to play this out. I mean, we were never gonna draw it anyways, right? It was on the bottom. Acker, thank you for the 2 entire years of support. We appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
They're out there. I'll spot them.
That's fine. That's fine. Hi, good morning. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back.
Always forward.
I think we just take the 2 for sure. That's a decent pickup. Help keep our life total high.
Everyone's a garden.
I believe in the garden and all inside of all of you at home, chat.
For silver I talk, for gold I listen.
Gold, I listen. All right, Maokai's at 14 out of 25 here. We can find our way into one of him.
Slow down, will you?
Come on, you big grouch.
Guard our homes.
So they have to block these 2, which means these are dying. And then they go to 2. I guess they technically don't have to block this one. They could block one of these. Big Stan coming in hot for the 24th month. And FMALO, thanks for the 10 months. Oh, no respect for any reach here.
My saplings.
Does Quinn level next turn? Maybe. Was that a good draw? Could folks in chat let me know if that draw was good, and if so, why? I would not expect changes to happen. As someone who spent decades playing Magic, the reason why I finally stopped is because Wizards doesn't... Wizards is more profitable than their company has literally ever been. They have no incentive to change.
Oh, I hear them!
Where valor goes, victory follows.
Yeah, this is probably bad. I probably should have just ruinated here. This is bad. I should have done this pre-combat. I should have done this before I let them level Quinn. I ended up taking a huge chunk of damage anyways, and now their champion is leveled. Caretaker wins, right? Likely? Likely? The problem with Caretaker is I have to play the three mana thing and then lose it. So if it doesn't win, I probably lose the game. Scouts don't usually have room to play single combat.
Dangerous water.
Yeah, and like this means it doesn't win it, right?
There you are.
What? Is their hand just like 3 rallies and a riposte, or like... Hey, you know what? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, chat. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Opponent's got what appears to be 3 aggressively slanted decks here. I'll ban Lulu. I would love to play Luxo in aggro matchup. They pass with 5 mana up post Ruination? Sure, but the Plaza incentivizes my opponent to develop on their turn unless they need to. So, like, I don't think passing with 5 mana after Ruination when their attack token is used up is indicative of them having nothing. I think that could mean a variety of things. Honestly, against Misfortune Lucian, double Radiant Guardian totes sounds reasonable. You've got a goat to trigger one of these. Yep. Thanks for the follow. Good morning. Oh, you know what? I should probably wait to play this. I guess that's not true. Say they could parlay it. Do I want to open a text? I don't think so. I think I want to try and get a gem.
Don't get in my way.
Yeah, Lulu Shen was something at the very start of the format, and then people, like, not only did War Chefs get nerfed, but people quickly realized that Fiora was just a better pairing there.
You're early.
I don't understand the difference in what I don't understand what you're asking there. Yeah, it's 7 wins, can't lose 2 in a row. It's the TLDR.
I forgot how slow time moves.
I'm just doing this.
What's in here?
I'll take the serpent and just pass here, I think. Probably take 7 on this attack. The problem with block and hush is then I take 10 if they order their attackers right. They order their attackers wrong. I guess I don't have hush up anymore, so their order doesn't matter. But like if I want to kill Lucian, not Senna, and if I hush this, I then take a big chunk from this if they order their attackers right. So I think I'd rather just take the hit this turn than for a little bit less.
Danger noodle.
Open on Danger Noodle here.
Alright, let's miss
The stream title is not our Gauntlet lineup. You can type !! Gauntlet in chat. That will tell you the decks that we are playing.
Let's do it over there.
The deck names listed in the stream title are decks we're going to be playing after this session. Or after this set. Yeah, you could. I'm not going to minimize chat. I decided I don't care enough. Decided I'd rather talk to the fine folks at home. Nah, I just don't care enough about the Prime Glory, and I'd rather just make better content. The content's better when I can interact with folks. Hopefully Riot liked me enough that they asked me back to commentate the next seasonal again, and then my Prime Glories won't matter.
No prey, no pay.
This could be it. Could be a Radiant Guardian turn.
Here we go.
The Blevins! Thank you for the entire year. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. If you commentate, you can't play in the tournament. It is very difficult to do commentary on the tournament, or play in the tournament you're doing commentary on.
Guides me.
Isn't that what I'm doing? No, I'm talking about the game while I'm currently playing it. Doing commentary for a tournament is very different. Stop it, Twitch chat. Get some help.
Break their spirits and their souls.
Sir Mustache, thanks for the 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So he's at 8 out of 10. Honestly, she's close enough that it might be right to not attack her into Sharp Sight here. They just want to deny me a point of life gain? That's all that did, right? It denied me a point of life gain.
Go down, will you?
I'm doing
Sir Mustache, thank you for the 19 months. Good morning and welcome back.
Courage, soldier.
So he's leveled mode, additionally getting a little bit bigger and granting us Behold the Infinite instead of Star Charts. Shares keywords between allies for the rest of the game, other than Barrier, so Lux does not give our friends Barrier. That being said, Lux does still come down here and get Challenger, so let's kill something. For science!
You're covered.
Hey, Xavius, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Remember, you can always catch up on all the action on either of my two YouTube channels. And I appreciate you keeping me around. Oh, I guess the Trickster would have given everything elusive, right? Because we got a Zoe emblem now. Oh, yes! Thank you for the 2 entire years. Welcome back. Yeah, this game's in garbage time at this point. Remember, if you ever want the text from a leveled champion, you could type exclamation point and then the champion's name and a plus sign in chat. So if you want to see the text from leveled Zoe, you could type exclamation point Zoe plus.
Better, brighter than before.
Our deck does not frequently run out of cards. If you like having grips full of cards into the late game, this is a good one for that. Braden, thank you for the 5 months. Good morning.
My shield is yours.
What's kind of funny here is they're gonna murder my Zoe with one of these challengers, and then I'm gonna get to play the second Zoe and give everything elusive. That's like kind of good for us.
The wood can't fight back, but I can. Hold nothing back.
This is a little scary. Nah, it's fine.
Will be served.
Everybody toughen up. Need you to toughen up, Chad. Everything's gonna be okay.
These woods belong to us.
Harry, riposte. You are toast.
I think this deck is about as good as you can get against Go Hard K Smith, and without being the field rush deck.
My steel is
Yeah, Zoe is an emblem, basically, if you're familiar with that terminology for Magic. She's a lasting effect. She says for the rest of the game. There is not currently a visual indicator on the screen that is how it works, though. The person that asked.
I demand satisfaction. Aha.
Oh no, not my Lux. How will we ever win the game now? Yeah, I agree with you, Duck Doolittle. It's frequently wrong to kill Zoe because the second Zoe gives everything elusive. My opponent's probably going to take a minute. My board's a little overwhelming. How would you add a visual indicator for emblems? I don't know, probably. There's like a ton of dead space on the screen. Like they could stick it up and around here somewhere. Yeah, you could put a thing on the Nexus, like maybe give the Nexus an animated effect and let you mouse over it. You could add it to here when you click on it. Probably putting an indicator in here when you click with like an animation on the deck is probably good.
scoured from this land.
There's an emblem icon in some of the labs in the upper left. Okay, I actually haven't played those labs, but something like that would be fine too.
Oh yeah.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. There's a lot of different places they could stick it, but just something of a visual indicator is good. If you haven't seen this deck I'm playing before, it's incredibly sweet, but shame on you. That means you haven't checked out my website or my highlights YouTube channel. This is one of the many great Runeterra decks you can find up there. Actually, the Maokai Snapvines deck that we're playing this morning as well is one that's going to end up on the website also. I'd rather play against Go Hard than this bigger control deck, so I'm going to ban that. And then, I know we took an arrow to the knee with this one against Go Hard last time, but I would like a rematch. Yeah, I think most of the time when you leave people Go Hard, people that bring Go Hard to the pick ban, they're gonna play it when they get the option to. Mulligan the Spell Thief. Keep the Zoe and the Goat in the Plaza. We're gonna decline if they just pass here, we're gonna pass as well, because passing gives us a chance to draw Sharp Sight to save Zoe from that. So I'm still gonna play Zoe out. If they have Go Hard, they have Go Hard. Sometimes they don't have it. Our opponent always has it, but sometimes they don't have it in general. We'll get to play this on 3 into one of these on 4. Now, this is the real downside in my sequencing here, is my opponent's able to get an attack with an Elise here because I wasn't able to play a Goat last turn. So because I wanted to give myself a chance to draw the Sharp Sight to protect Zoe, I'm in a little bit worse spot here this game. Probably going Goat into Zoe next turn to try and kill this. Plaza is also nice with Zoe in this matchup because it gives her a chance to hit my opponent before, I'm actually going to play Zoe as Twisted Fate bait here, because if they have Twisted Fate, they could gold card her, but then I get to play Goat and eat Twisted Fate. Alright, so now, do I want to get my hit in with this, or do I want to kill their Elise? What's more important? I think killing Elise is more important. Zaylor, thank you for the entire year. Your content got me through the holidays and our 4-month sleep regression. You mean you have 4-month-old like a baby? Or just had a rough time sleeping recently? Either way, hope things take a good turn for you. Yeah, Gangplank and Go Hard super reasonable. 4-month-old, yep. Yeah, I feel you there. If you're in the subscriber Discord server and you ever see me posting in there at like 3, 4, 5 a.m., that means Haley was up for a bottle at that time. The 3 to 5 a.m. range is the wake up range for her.
We must all make sacrifices.
So, I wonder if they have another thing to play out here. If they have another thing to play out, they have pretty good open attacks. So, would really like to hit Sisters here. I think with no Sisters, I just take Traveler.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Blows my mind that Go Hard is commonly adopted Vile Feast. Now, I think it makes a lot of sense. So, like, and honestly, I've talked about this before, but in my opinion, the big innovation in the Go Hard archetype is the addition of Ledros. Because Ledros plus Pack Your Bags means it's hard for people to go over the top of you. So once you figure out that innovation, it makes sense to add more cards like Vile Feast that shore up your aggressive matchups. Because if you have the top end locked up where people can't go over you, it makes a lot more sense to make sure they also can't get under you. Looking to fade Vengeance here. There's 7 cards in, so maybe they don't have it. The deck is so anti-aggro at its base. I think it's... I don't know how much Go Hard you've played, but this deck is less anti-aggro than you'd think.
Let's brighten up their day.
Oh, really surprised that just happened. I wonder if they just have second Twisted Fate here. Like, as someone who's played other decks, like, I haven't played with the opponent's archetype a ton, but having played a ton of different decks against it, I've always felt like the Frel the Overwhelm aggro decks and the Fearsome aggro decks were some of the best things I could play into this. Can you explain why you think its aggro matchup is good? Do you think this deck as built has a good Fearsomes and a good Overwhelm matchup?
To leave or burn.
Because my experience playing on this side of the board has been that those matchups are bad for this deck.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
This is good to buffer like total back up.
It was my heart that led me here.
No plays there is wild for us. I think we just start with Cosmic Inspiration here. Sure, like, so Guard Gray, I understand that they have certain, like, it has good play in general. That's why I'm not talking about your high roll case. I asked about specifically the average case. So what does you'll always hear me talk about averages as opposed to extremes, because you can't judge anything based on its extremes. Yeah, I agree with Quaddle. My experience playing I think discard aggro is probably the only aggressive deck I don't love playing against the opponent's archetype, because discard aggro has so many one toughness things. Yeah, but like, so it's about, you're saying your matchup is about Whale and Kegs, but like a lot of the builds aren't playing Whale, right? Yeah, like the build recommended on Mopolytics is on 0 Whale. So I agree, if you build, and my experience playing against has definitely been like, that's not the average case scenario. So like, this is a mid-range control deck, and you can obviously build it to hose whatever thing you want to hose. But again, I'm talking about average case scenarios, how the decks are built most of the time, how does it play out versus how other things are built most of the time. You can't draw conclusions based on the extremes. It's just not how data collection works. You got to remove outliers from your data set. Even if they ledger us here, we're kind of in a fine spot, right? So I have this to gain back up after. I think they've only played like 1 Pack the Bags this game. Can they play 2? That could really use an indicator too. I would like to be able to click on their deck and know what their Pack the Bags are at. Would be nice. An opponent like has to play something here, right? Because if they just pass, I'm just gonna open attack 6 turn.
A round or two. I'm a people person.
Yeah, but like, so what you're saying isn't helpful to, like, Tuck, what you're saying there just isn't helpful to the discussion at all. So like, this conversation started with, I made statement about the deck, and then you challenged the statement, and then now you've taken the goalpost and you've moved it to this place that's, well, now you're not talking about the deck in general, you're talking about your build of the deck, and your build of the deck is different. And that's really moving the goalpost here. Alright, so we're dead to Pack plus Doom Beast. Alright, not getting Pack plus Doom Beast this turn. God bless. In my opinion, the perspective you're trying to give is bullshit. Because it's not how things like that work. We don't know how I don't know how your deck is built. I don't really care. I can only talk about the average because the average is what matters. Honestly, I think I go heal 5, grab a, no, I don't think I open attacks. I think I do this because if they pack me here, yeah, I'm gonna level this and blast this, because even if they pack me or ruinate me, I can Golden Sister still. And if they pack me, Lux lives. I think there's a good chance we either kill them here or get the game pretty close to locked up. Yeah, this game's over, right? That vengeance is like best case scenario here. Oh, I guess they could still pack me, right? Yeah, and this is the given. This is the give and take, right? Like, oh yeah, these survive pack the bags, right? Okay, yeah, we'll do this. Because they survive getting packed. Because they're 7/6s.
My spirit shines.
So, that game has been my average experience with this deck compared to the first game we played of that set. Usually the games you lose to pack your bags with this deck that I'm playing involve Ledros, because Ledros makes it very hard for you to keep your life total high meaningfully. Sometimes you can play around it, but a lot of the times you can't. And this deck has enough life gain, and its units are beefy enough on average that you can play through pack the bags. Like, you usually don't lose your entire board to pack, and we keep our life total high enough that we also don't get burned out by it in most situations. I mean, M-Tuck literally acknowledged that it wasn't the base, and the base would be like what's on the most commonly played version on Mobalytics. I'm gonna ban their big control deck again and plan to play this if they leave it here. Deal. I'm gonna keep Sharpsight and Zoe. I'm gonna mulligan looking for Hush. This is the all-in Fiora deck. Yeah, Cosmic Inspiration is definitely one of our tools that's better against pack. Most decks I choose for Gauntlet viewer submissions are decks that are my favorite / most competitive. The 3 decks I picked today are decks that when I play Gauntlets, generally there are 3 decks that I want to play. Generally speaking. No, normally, this is a good draw. Normally, I have kind of a hard time picking between whether or not I want to play Zoe Lux or Zoe Fizz, but Zoe Fizz was at the top of the deck queue this morning to start, so I've elected to play Zoe Lux in the Gauntlet since we're going to play Zoe Fizz later anyways. Honestly, turn 5 Lux sounds kind of great. Paradigm shift time. You know what? Aggro was not that big of a thing at the moment because go hard because you have nothing to back it up. Well, I have lots of things to back it up that say that that's just wrong, Decky. So again, Mobalytics tier list is completely data driven. And of the 6 S tier decks based on play weight and win weight, Grand, their Scout, Shen Fiora, Pirate Aggro, Slowburn are all decks that are up there. All right, so I have to decide, do I want this to be the point where I'm fighting about this? One consideration is I don't really have anything else to do with my mana this turn. The other inverse consideration is that I could just Remembrance this turn, which I think is fine. An anonymous cheerer, thanks for the biddies, whoever you are. I think I just give Fiora this kill and play a 5-mana Remembrance. I think this is not the spot I want to pick to fight. I think I'm gonna have a better position. Using data to argue against feelings and anecdotes is cheating. It is. I apologize. I am a dirty, dirty, rotten cheater. Okay, and then this turn seems like a good spot to pick a fight since they've invested into this now. So I think I go ahead and I give this +2/+2 and then try and kill it here. And I have Hush plus additional Sharp Sight here to try and get through it. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. Do 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 do. Be very quiet. We're hunting Fioras. I think I lead on this. Is that way we can try and eat this with a Lux?
The sun is shining. We should too.
We should too. One Equinox, please. Is that good? If so, why? Please explain.
Not their day.
More in Blue Man. This is just preventing them from gaining 1 life. No, it's preventing them from saving their only threat if they have a Sharp Sight. Or a Pale Cascade, or something else that gives it toughness. So my opponent's deck is so incredibly light on threats that prioritizing being able to kill their threats whenever possible is very, very important.
Unyielding light.
The opponent's deck is more akin to Infect than Bogle's, if you're looking for a Magic the Gathering comparison.
Strength and grace,
Beauty in the blade. So anyways, I started blasting.
Your move.
And the way this works out, we're gonna get 2 final sparks now if this just resolves. Bye, friends.
Would it help if I apologized?
If you want a deck that's super reasonable against the toxic decks in the format, this deck's a good choice. I think this deck is a good all-in Fiora matchup. It has a decent Lee Sin matchup. It has a decent Go Hard matchup. The one semi-common deck that our deck is bad against is our deck is not great against the A-Soul Plaza decks. And that's your one hard matchup, is those decks have a lot of similarities to what we're doing while also going bigger than us. That being said, I'd prefer to never play against Lee Sin, so we're gonna ban that one. Admiral Poops McGee, thanks for the 3rd of a year. Oh, Twitch using. I think he's got a fine Scouts matchup. Scouts is just good and like just kills you sometimes regardless of what you're playing, but I think it's fine. You have Radiant Guardians and stuff. Need Veer, thank you for the 34 months. That's a long time. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, the Maokai deck is the Snapvines deck. Yeah, people have mostly been banning Lucian Heck. Honestly, I think I'm gonna full mulligan here, looking for Plaza. Kurt's pretty good in this matchup. The Lucian deck is not a Snapvines deck, no. If you want to see the exact deck list that I'm playing for all 3 of the decks in my lineup, you can type !decks in chat. You can always type !decks in chat in this channel to find things that we're playing.
Let's get to it.
I got my Prime Glory with Scargrounds, Vlad, Snapvines, and Zoe Lux. Sweet, Time Lord. I actually just got a banner for the Maokai's Garden deck. I'm gonna throw that one up on the website. Been super reasonable. Hopefully they open on attacks next turn and hit us for 4. Gives us a good window to play Plaza. If they develop before attacking, I might just play Remembrance. Yeah, that's definitely true, Puddle. The more aggressive build that I favor is definitely the less popular of the variations. With Lux drawn, I think I want to try and hold Remembrance for post-Lux here. I have the Star Shaping to gain some life back. This might be a little greedy. Golden Sister is great for buffering our life back up.
Light guide you, my brethren.
They could technically Twisted Fate Gold card to kill this.
My spirit shines.
Pretty happy with that exchange. You know, honestly, I think I'm just supposed to preserve my life total here, and I'm gonna go ahead and Spell Thief a Go Hard and kill their 2-1. You can't Spell Thief pack your bags because it's broken, so might as well do this and get my life total up there.
Keep up, keep up.
Got a surprise for him.
think I want to save Remembrance for post-Zoe, so I'm just going to go ahead and Star Shaping here. Although there is merit to adding pressure to the board this turn. And like, I'm going to get to gain life with Golden Sister next turn. The downside to Remembrancing is that if my opponent banked Spell Mana this turn, they could Ruination us next turn. I think I want to do this because I want to make their potential Ruinations down the line worse. I definitely just want a Spell Shield unit here, I think. I guess this is simple. I think I just want the most resource efficient one. And we'll play this next turn and gain even more life back.
If I kill you, I don't fortune.
The light of my star warms the heavens.
So like if they want a Ruination from here, I think that's fine for us. We end up ahead on mana and we're ahead on board technically because of the Plaza. Yeah, I agree, Blue Man. I don't think you should play around Ruination in extreme cases where it's going to cost you, but like the downside of playing around Ruination in this particular instance is like super low. So I think it's worth doing. I'm gonna go ahead and control their board here. We just do this. Again, this is actually why we lost the first match, is we had lifesteal things, and every time we were going to lifesteal, our opponent had glimpses to deny us, so hopefully we can avoid that same fate this time through.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
Should you have challenged the elusive separately then? I don't understand your question. What does that mean? Challenge them separately? I mean, their elusive was dying regardless. So what you're suggesting is irrelevant. I do this to try and force the pack their bags ASAP.
Like a fish in water. Let's do this.
I bow to no one.
BDP, thank you for the 30 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. They probabilistically have a pack the bags in hand. It's not guaranteed, but it's probabilistic. Gets to develop Lux here because she has a barrier. She also gets +1/+1 here, so even if they like Vile Feast her plus pack, she still lives, which is great. Yeah, these builds play Vile Feast now a lot of the time too. So like Zap is likely to get a pack, but it's not a guarantee. I think I open on attacks with this and just try and gain my life rate.
You got legs. Use them.
I could have sharp-sighted the lifesteal and blocked the elusive. That's a good catch. So the cost of deck submissions varies. I mean, so for people that are new to the channel, the way my deck submission process works is you can submit a deck for as little as $10, but it has to wait till it gets to the top of my deck queue to be played. And things generally get played when they have 20 to 30 points, depending on how busy submissions are. Oh, did I need to save this?
I fight for the fallen.
Did I need to save that? I think I needed to sharp sight that. That's correct, Blue.
Stay back.
Yeah, I should have saved. No, I guess saving that didn't matter, right? No, yeah, I should have. If I would have. So I can hush, but that doesn't kill him, chat. That's only a 5/6. I can't hush Ledros and live, chat. I can't hush, kill Ledros and live. Stop it. Stop being Twitch chat. So I can live here. So what needed to happen this turn that I messed up was I needed to sharp sight my dragon. So then play this, and then this could have blocked one of these, and the dragon could have blocked this, and then I could have hushed this. So if I would have sharp sighted the dragon, I could have won that. But because I didn't sharp sight the dragon, I couldn't kill the Ledros there. It's honestly impressive that, like, and again, like, this is why I love this deck, is that if I had played these couple of turns better, I would have been able to beat Ledros plus pack the bags. We might still be able to beat that, but it's looking dicier than it needed to be. I realized I needed to sharp sight as I was clicking OK.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
That's the thought. If I block the 2/2 and star shaping, no, because I'm at 9, right? That wouldn't work. I'd be dead. Oh, I guess I'm taking 7 more that way. I would have gone to 2. I would die to Keg. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, I should have kept the Radiant Guardian around. You're right. I could have kept the Radiant Guardian around. That's probably better. So naturally, one of these other 2 cards is their second vengeance then? And now I can't supernova? I think we're dead. And this is, the people that have been bitching about Plaza in this game are really unreasonable. Like, this is one of the huge downsides to Plaza, right? Like, the second and third copies just don't do anything. And I end up in a really bad spot here. Yeah, it's not game 7, we're dead though. So I messed this game up. If I would have either, I think the play to keep the Radiant Guardian alive after I messed up the first time would have been good, but the actual best play is that I should have saved the dragon so I could then hush and block the Ledros and keep the Radiant Guardian. I didn't say they don't stack. I said they're not good in multiples to the point of being useless. They are not worth the bench space that they take up. Ban this deck. We're actually going to play this deck later, but I haven't played with or against it much. I'm just not super familiar with the play patterns. And I'm pretty okay against either of these, I think. The Gunners, thank you for the 22 months. Welcome back. Good morning. Keep a Remembrance, Mulligan, the rest is like looking for a Zoe or something cheaper to start. It's nice. I think that landmarks should stack similar to barrels that barrels shouldn't stack. That's an interesting thought. I don't know. I haven't thought about that before.
We shall not rest until all betrayers pay.
Can I just play Shield Bearer here to fog them?
I gotta get out of here.
Is there any benefit to playing another Gauntlet if you don't get 7 wins on your first run? You cannot get another Prime Glory. You only get 1 shot at Prime Glory each week, but you can still collect experience for playing Gauntlets. Achieving 7 wins in a Gauntlets gets you lots of game experience towards leveling your vault. Or are there prismatic rewards now? That's good to know too. I think I just take this opportunity to kill Kalista so I don't have to worry about her leveling.
Take my helmet.
Everyone's a garden.
I'm taking 4, 7, 8, 9, 13 here, but that's fine, right? So we're gonna play this. And if they want to burn my mana and not attack here, that's like an incredible win for us. So, you know, more power to you.
Virtue guides me.
Notable that my opponent is on 5 mana that last turn, up to 6 mana now. So hoping to find a Comet here so we can have an answer rolled up to They Who Endure. No Comet's pretty unfortunate. I guess we just take Golden Sister to have more life game.
The heart and lights the way.
Opponent might have Ruination. Nah, Ruination's not a card you should play around in this matchup. It's incredibly unlikely for it to be something that they're gonna have.
Strike for justice.
Man, the glimpses on the Radiant Guardians have just been brutal. It's been all day.
My saplings.
This is fine. I think I want to save this to be able to pump Radiant Guardian to gain extra life in a pinch. We are going to be dead to endure past priority atrocity us. All right, no endure this turn is huge. Can just go ahead and do this.
Once was 2, now is 1.
Just go nice and wide here.
No further.
I guess we're dead to a deal one here. They play 3 copies of those. didn't have anything to play around this, right? Oh, I could have blocked the 4-3. Fuck. I just wasn't counting. Man, that's a bad play. I even talked about being dead to this. I definitely should have. I mean, that was a shitty game that I fucked up. The opponent played well. I did not. I did not play a good game. Yeah, I think we're in like not 100%. Saving the goat would have saved me. That's an okay thought. I don't know. I think saving the goat there is wrong. I think I should have blocked better. I mean, like saying the opponent had. I mean, like. So a shitty Runeterra player, a bad card game player, is going to say the opponent's hand was nuts and there was nothing we could do when, like, I obviously had 2 or 3 different plays that I could do. I had a ton of agency in that game. Like, the people that write that game off as my opponent's hand being nuts, those are people that are gonna, like, wallow in mid-tier rankings and never get better at the game. Like, you have no control over what your opponent draws. I actually think, so the reason why the Endure deck is good is because they both go tall and wide. I don't think saving the goat was correct, but I do think, blocking the 4-3 to not be dead to the deal 1 is correct. Yeah. Chris, thanks for the follow. So unfortunately, not gonna get a Prime Glory this week, but that's okay, chat. Sometimes that doesn't happen. I think I messed it. I don't even think I definitely messed up both of the last 2 games in that set, right? Like against the Go Hard player, I could have saved the dragon and then hushed the Ledros and been ahead on life total by a lot while also being ahead on board. I would have kept my Radiant Guardian, had more than enough life to win. And in that last game, I could have blocked to not leave myself dead to the Drain 1, and then I would have kept my 2 life steals around, and they would have buffered my life total back up that I could have even survived a hit from a They Who Endure an Atrocity the following turn, I think. Yeah, and that's just, that's just how it happens. You're not going to win all of the games that you play. Trying to look back on the games that you lost and be reflective and think about, okay, what could I have done differently that I didn't? I don't think single combat's a card that's very good right now, Precipic. I think both Hush and Sharpsight are generically better than single combat in this format right now, and I don't think I have room to play more 2-mana things like that. Maybe you could make the argument. Where is it? Maybe you could. No, don't push that button. That's usually the edit deck button on the other. Maybe you could make the argument that Spell Thief could be better as single combat, but I really like Spell Thief to supplement Star Shaping as a proactive burst way to get your Lux to level on 6 mana. Also, hopefully in the next patch they fix Spell Thief so it can take Pack Your Bags, because like the Pack Your Bags matchup would be laughably easy if this card worked as it was written and you could take Pack Your Bags after they've played on you, because you almost always survive the hit from Pack Your Bags in this deck, and if you could turn around and just blast their board too, they wouldn't have a shot most games. Preppa Panda Mister, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. I think I'm pretty happy. You'd look to cut Remembrance. I get the Lux interaction, but 5 drops. No, I disagree completely, M-Tuck. This is more ways, and this is the other thing that Control players hate. People really hate winning. People really hate winning the game in their control decks. And also what people are doing here, they're like, I really like single combat with the life linkers, and they're so focused. Like, this is actually a really good learning point. So the people that are telling me I need single combat to play around glimpses on my things, on my lifesteal units, the solution to the glimpses on my lifesteal things isn't put cards in my deck that aren't good and don't help my deck. The solution to that is to not fuck up. Don't make changes to your deck after you lost a bunch of games because I made mistakes. Like, the very first game that we played in that gauntlet, you are right, there weren't things I could do different, but that game was also atypical because we were 22 cards into our deck in that game without ever drawing a copy of Lux. But like, making adjustments to games that I was almost guaranteed to win if I just play better. If you make changes to your deck knee-jerky every time you lose a game that you could have won, you should just play better and be tighter and make better lines. And this card isn't just there because of Lux. This is just a good card. They don't let us play 6 Radiant Guardians. This is the closest we get. Like, yeah, the fact that it comes up with Lux is nice in spots, but this card is generically very, very good in general. Yeah, I agree with Quaddle. It feels like Plaza's largely pushed single combat out of the format. You can't have too many cards that act as just removal, but you're required to have units to be useful unless you're playing Garrett or Fiora who benefit from striking specifically. That's my feels a lot. I definitely don't want to cut Plaza, and I feel like Plaza fights for those single combat slots similar to Sharpsight and Hush. And I think single combat in the current format is inferior to Hush, Sharpsight, and Plaza. We don't need a Gauntlet command after the fact. Let's shift gears and play some ladder, huh? Let's aggro some people.